I wanted to ask you something that I heard you guys say, go deep. And we want you to go deep. And by deep, we mean going general. But then another spiritual teacher that I really love has talked about shadow work, where when you face your fears and you look into them and you dive deep, then you shine the light of consciousness on them and transmute the energy. So I was wondering what Abraham had to say about those two things, like going general versus purposely, trying to love yourself by facing your fears and acknowledging them.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the process of creation and how knowing what you don't want is the very beginning of the launching of the clarity or the rockets of desire or the vibrational stream of what you do want. So it's important to acknowledge that you were born into this leading edge time-space reality with the intention of exploring the variety, that the contrast is something that you understand as a good thing, that all expansion is born from it, that without the ability to know what is not wanted, you couldn't know what is wanted. Then once you've launched that rocket, that's what we've been talking about all morning here, your source or inner being or whatever you want to call that non-physical part of you becomes a vibrational equivalent by focusing upon the outcome that you're seeking, the results that you want, the desire that you hold. And because source is not resistant in nature and is not trying to prove worthiness and is not living out here on the leading bleeding edge like you are, source is able to hold steady that clear vision of what you are asking for, making it possible, even likely, for you to feel your way to that vibrational frequency. Even though the contrast that you lived, you weren't in that frequency, but it caused you to launch the rocket of what you do want, and now you have to find a way to find that vibrational equivalent. So the way we've been teaching it is, once you know what you do want, now as you feel your way toward the thoughts that feel better, in time you'll become such a natural, usual, often vibrational harmonizer with your desire, not with the absence of it, but with your desire, that now the full manifestation of it happens. That's how thoughts and desires become the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality that you all are seeking. So that's step 1 and 2 of the process. Step 3 is holding steady to the vibration of what you're wanting until step 3 really is coming into sync with it and allowing it to then manifest. Recently we've been talking about step 4, which is really nothing more than mastery of that. It's awareness of the way you feel, conscious awareness of the way you feel, and true desire to feel good, so much so that you're willing to choose the thoughts that do feel the best, so that you become more of a blended being, more blended with that larger part of you, not void of contrast, but blended more of the time in an expectant place of well-being. And then step 5, we've just begun identifying step 5, is where you no longer are mad at yourself when you're standing in step 1. Step 5 is where you acknowledge the benefit of contrast. And so that's what we think that you're talking about a bit there. But these are the very powerful things that we want to say in response to this important question that you put forth here. Whatever you give your attention to, you are practicing the vibrational frequency of. And if you are practicing the vibrational frequency of, you're not going to leave it behind, you're going to cause it to be more. And momentum about whatever it is you are giving your attention to is going to become more. Now sometimes people believe, and we are not denying that this can be the case, when you face your greatest fears, there's a lot of stuff down in there that's going to cause a lot of rockets of desire to shoot out of it. In other words, that's like deliberately standing in step 1 almost for the purpose of launching the rockets of desires. But people usually don't survive an intense scrutiny of what is not wanted. That's why every disease after it is diagnosed becomes more, at least for a while, because your attention to the subjects holds you in a frequency that does not allow you to experience the difference from the reality that you are focused upon. So we certainly would not deny that contrast will launch rockets. We know that. We teach that. It's a fact of universal life. And we certainly will never deny that once the rocket is launched, that there is not expansion, because there is. That rocket launching is expansion. You have become a more expanded being when that happens. But you've got to find a way to consistently line up with it. And so all we would say in response to that is, if you feel like you need to go really deep and really dark into the shadows in order to ferret out the stuff that's wrong, in order to discover what's right, then go for it. But almost everyone we've ever known got lost in the shadows along the way, because the vibrational frequency of that pattern of thought just holds them there. You cannot deny that what you think about matters. That's why we were so strong this morning in anticipation of you sitting here and presenting us with this. We want you to know that your thoughts do matter. Every thought matters. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't think a thought that is detrimental in one moment or in one day and then begin thinking thoughts that are more beneficial in others. But the likelihood of moving from the thought that doesn't feel good to the thought that feels better is not that likely, because of the momentum of the thought. Law of attraction and momentum are the same resource. Esther was laughing and not laughing because she wanted to laugh about it and make light of something that she realized was rather important. She decided to entertain herself when she's alone at night by watching some series on television, and then began noticing that her life was changing in reflection to the series that she's expecting zombies any day. In other words, you just cannot give attention to something without it becoming part of your vibration. And if you do it over enough period of time, it becomes something that registers in your point of attraction. And so our encouragement is to do the light work. It's more natural to you. Don't go to the shadows. If you've lived something not wanted and you've bounced from it, then focus upon what you're bouncing off. But such a scrutiny of all of the details does not serve you very well. That's why therapy lasts so long.
How can we work our way through that resistance with wording? Because
it's not about the wording so much.
It's how we feel. I understand.
Words sometimes can help, but what it really is when you are aware that there is resistance, stop trying to push through it, because trying to push yourself through it just makes more resistance, so it just gets worse. So it really is about surrendering. This is what you wanted to talk about. It really is about giving up. Oh, never mind, I can do this later. Oh, never mind, this isn't the right time for that. Oh, never mind.
Allowing.
Esther had printed some cards that go on the dash of the car. Would you like one?
Yes.
She'll send them to you. The card, you can't read it when you look at it, but it reflects on the windshield so you can read it, and it says, things are always working out for me. 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 She has it on all of her cars. Things are always working out for me. One day she took 3 cars to the car wash because it was the day she was washing cars. So she took one down, took another one down, and the man said, oh, it's so nice to see you again. And Esther's thinking, oh, thank you. And he said, I recognize the card on your dash. Because he had not seen anything like that before. Things are always working out for me. That's an affirmation worth making. Things are always working out for me. Do you believe it?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
Things are always working out for me? Yeah? You believe that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Things are always working out for me.
Yes.
Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Taking their damn sweet time sometimes. We heard you. Things are always working out for me. So if that statement's too strong, then say, things often work out for me. I'm often aware that things are always working out for me. That's a sort of more true statement. I'm often aware that things are always working out for me. Sometimes I realize that things are always working out for me. I like it when I'm aware that things are always working out for me. The more I'm aware that things are always working out for me, the more things are working out for me. I don't need to focus upon the condition of things working out in order to know or expect things are working out for me. I'm beginning to trust in my own well-being. I'm beginning to trust in my own worthiness. I can feel that I am the object of the attention of source of non-physical energy. I can feel that there are a whole lot of non-physically focused beings who have my back. I can feel that things are working out for me. I can feel that I could let things work out for me even more as I let go of the things that are bothering me. I can help things work out for me in a more conscious way by being consciously aware that things are always working out for me. They don't seem like they're always working out for me, but deep down I know that they are always working out for me. And when something isn't working out for me, next I'm going to say things are always working out for me. I just got to relax and allow the path of least resistance to move it along. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. No regrets, no bad steps, no wrong steps. I can't get it wrong. I'm never going to get it done. The reason that it's not ever wrong is because it's never done. I'm in the right place at the right time. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Let's take it further. Source adores me. Source adores me. My inner being adores me. I am so loved. I am so loved. Look at this planet spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets. Things are so working out for us. Oh, they keep telling us something's going to hit us. They keep telling us we're going to go out of orbit. They keep telling us that things are going wrong, but things are always working out for us. They keep telling us that the drought's going to come and it's never going to rain again. And now we're on the streets in our boat. Things are always working out. Things are always working out. I could smooth the flow out by trusting that more. I could smooth the flow out. I could have less flood and less drought. I could smooth the abundance out. I could allow things to come to me more smoothly. I could smooth out my path of least resistance. I could make it lesser and lesser resistance. It's so that when I have an idea of something I want, it can come to me swiftly and speedily. It doesn't have to take as long as it is. It's all right that it does. You see what we're getting at? And aren't these words calming and reassuring? And couldn't you find them if you wanted to? And don't you want to?
Yes.
Don't you want to really know that things are always working out for me? So someone says, how did you get to where you are? Tell me about yourself. And you say, instead of no, you could say, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. What do you mean? Oh, it's too long of a story to tell. I'm just a thriver. I'm just a thriver. I think I may be the most blessed person on the planet. Things are always working out for me. How'd you get there? Don't know, but I'm glad I'm here. It happened so gradually, I can't even remember. Just seems like for a really long time I've been thriving. I don't really like to see you thriving that much because I'm not thriving. Things are always working out for you too. Things are always working out for all of us. Oh yeah, well I don't see that. A lot of people don't, but then they don't thrive. Do you mean to tell me? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean to tell you. Things are always working out for us. Things are always working out for us. And to the degree that we know that and trust that and relax into that, then things do work out for us. How'd you get there? Well, I surrendered. I stopped trying to prove my worthiness. I just accepted it. I stopped trying to defend my position. I just held it. I stopped trying to explain myself to those who cannot hear my explanation. That's big.
Yeah.
Mother, I don't think that you're going to understand, so I'm just not going to explain myself. Starts early, doesn't it? Yeah. My inner being is my dominant partner of alignment. There are a lot of things you can't say to most people. They're not going to hear it. So you've got to go general. Happiness is my nature. I feel like I'm supposed to feel good. I sure like feeling good. I would so much rather feel good than not, wouldn't you? Well, yeah. Wouldn't everybody? Yes. Everybody would rather feel good. And I believe we all can feel good. It's just a matter of focus. Do you mean under any condition, you mean you can feel good no matter what? Yes. Well, what about that? I don't look at that. well, then you can't feel good under any circumstance. No, I'm unconditionally happy.